Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? En esta clase vamos a estudiar las conjunciones. Hemos estudiado los artículos, los sustantivos, los adjetivos, los pronombres, los verbos, los adverbios y las preposiciones. Ahora vamos a estudiar las conjunciones y luego las interjecciones. Okay, these are a few of the conjunctions that you will come across when you are reading Spanish text. Most of these are what is called coordinative conjunction. Okay, and there are other type of conjunction as well, like subordinative conjunctions, and there are also locutions, which are more than a single word. So you have a group of words, and it could be 2, 3, or this one is 4, for instance. And all of them are conjunctions, and you will be coming across them depending on the type of text you are reading. More advanced content tests will have some of the more complicated one, but for public communication in general, you'll be coming across the single conjunction, single word conjunction, and some of them are like some adverbs and prepositions as well are used as conjunction. Así, como, entre, luego, para are examples of such adverb or preposition which can be used as conjunctions as well. The word que, you can see it in composition with many of these conjunctions, and also que by itself is a conjunction. Okay, but you also remember when we were studying pronoun, que, quien, cuya, all those are pronoun. Okay, some of them are also adjective, like cuya and cuyo are relative adjectives, but they are also pronoun depending on the context. So que in some instances is a pronoun, and then you'll see it as the subject of the verb, okay, or replacing a noun. In other circumstances, que will be an adjective, and where it will be describing a noun. Okay, but que, the same que, is also a conjunction, so the context will guide you as to which function the word is playing in the sentence. Okay, so we have here, for instance, we have y, and what's the meaning of this one? It's end, it means end. Ni, most of the time, is used in combination with another ni, and together they mean neither nor. Okay, neither nor, it's the same pattern here, but you have one, but usually you have two of them together. O is or. Okay, in English, this O means or. Now you will come across u sometime, the letter U in English, but it's U in Spanish, when if it is still or, but when the following noun starts with another O, you don't have O and then a noun starting with O. So you have O, and then the noun starting with O. Because of the noun starting with O, this same O will become U. This E, the Y that is E, that is red E in Spanish, which stands for and, when the following noun starts with the letter E or the letter H that is mute, and then after you see E, then you cannot have E and then E. For that reason, this E will become A like this one in Peru. Okay, so when you see A and U, they are the same as E and O. Okay, now pero, mas, sino, they have similar meaning, and they tend to mean but. And but is a conjunction, B-U-T, is a coordinative conjunction in English. So these three, pero, mas, and sino, they have very close meaning to but, so you can use them almost interchangeably, but the context will guide you. Okay, you'll hear more pero meaning but than the rest, mas and sino. And this pero is different from perro. Perro is a male dog, and pera is a female dog. So pero, but perro, when you roll the R, is 2R in spelling, that's a male dog. So all this here, así que, con el fin de, no obstante, sin embargo, aunque, porque, para que, por lo tanto, por más que, ya que, por consiguiente, a pesar de que, all those are conjunctive locutions. So you'll see them in the role of joining sentences, joining clauses, joining phrases, depending on the level of the sentence. If it's simple sentence, you won't see these often. In compound sentences, you come across them. In complex sentences, you see more of them. Okay, so but some of them are, you won't find them everywhere in public discourse. Public discourse, public health material, public communication material, as I said earlier, are graded between 5th grade and 8th grade. So they are at a level for the general public. And those type of tests, the level of complication or the level of the likelihood for those tests to contain very complicated conjunctions, that likelihood is reduced, is slim. So you will come across them sometime, but I mean, most of the time you will come across the single word conjunction. But it's good to know them, and the context will guide you. And out of the 8th part of speech, this is the 8th part of speech. So the 9th one that we'll discuss in a few moments is the interjection, where you express strong emotion, either of happiness, of sadness, of surprise, of shock. But that last part is a standalone part of speech, does not have any interaction whatsoever with the other part of the sentence. So it doesn't have the other part of the sentences of the sentence. The other parts don't have any effect on it. It doesn't have any modification. That's what I'm trying to say on it. So because it starts, the interjection will start with an inverted exclamative mark at the beginning, and it will end with a regular exclamative mark before the other part of the sentence will continue. And sometimes it's a whole sentence itself in between those exclamative marks and stand alone. So some grammarians, as I said earlier, they stop at conjunction as the eighth part of speech, but it's good to include interjection to cover the whole thing. So that's it. If you can take notes, write them down, and there are you'll discover other conjunction when you are reading, and the context will guide you. And you can also do a little bit of research on it, because you'll have a coordinative conjunction, subordinative conjunction, correlative conjunction, where there are two moving together, ni or o or e and ademas, those kinds of things. But you have to if you want to know more and more about conjunction, then you can do some research. You can look up conjunction in the dictionary, and it will direct you to some pages of the dictionary, and you'll do some research and spend some time. But in a course, in an introductory course, grammar course like this, which is just one module out of 4 that this course contains, we are already, I think, covering as much as we possibly can in this grammar course. And what we are covering here is enough to allow you, to enable you to understand the subject matter materials that we'll be discussing in module 3 and 4, in mostly module 3, where we'll have some reading, vocabulary building, and we'll use the parameters that you measure as vital signs. Okay, and those are the tests we are going to use over there are going to be related to vital sign measurement. Okay, we'll cover the most frequent parameters that nurses and medical personnel measure to assess a patient's health. So the 5 most important, and other material will be covered. Okay, so it won't be like we are using the same test to illustrate the grammatical point, but we will be using different tests for each parameter that you measure as part of your duty as a medical professional. So these lists of conjunction, write them down. Write down also these 5 that are adverbs and prepositions that can be used as conjunction, and these that you may encounter, so as when you encounter them, okay, you may not remember exactly everything about it, but you say, oh, these are, okay, some of those are multiple word conjunction that are used to join phrases and sentences. Okay, and these are mostly coordinative conjunction. The one here are mostly coordinative conjunction. Okay, and the one that comes in pair, through reading you will discover them. You see, if you see one ni and you look out for the second one, and then you will understand that you are in a context of neither and nor, stuff like that. Okay, so well, I've spoken briefly about interjection before, so, and this is going to be the last part of this lesson on the word classes or the part of speech. Okay, the number of parts of speech is the same as in English. Okay, now the name, los artículos, los sustantivos, los adjetivos, los pronombres, los verbos, los adverbios, las preposiciones, las conjuncciones, las interjecciones. All 9 of them, with the exception of los sustantivos, look very closely. I mean, it's almost the same. It's only a slight difference in the spelling, but the meanings are the same. So these are cognate, most of them. These los sustantivos, which stand for noun, or los nombres, is not as obvious as the other one, but know that los sustantivos could also be referred to as los nombres. And if it's los nombres, it comes a little closer to nouns, but all the other 8, at the beginning, you know, you can guess them immediately as you see them. So we'll now say a few words about interjection before closing this lesson and then closing this module. Las interjecciones. Okay, las interjecciones. Okay, you have this one, you see them, they are bracketed, okay, inverted, exclamative mark, and regular exclamative mark. Okay, in English there is only the regular one at the end, but in Spanish, for some reason that you know, maybe some Spanish linguists will be able to explain, there's an inverted one at the beginning. It's the same pattern with interrogations. You have an inverted interrogation mark at the beginning. So could you repeat after me? A, I, ba, o, ia, e, puf, ui, ojalá, caramba, hurra, hola, kia, hupa, sape, sas. It's same thing as you are saying, hey, wow, in English. So you are surprised, you are happy, you are sad. All those strong emotions are expressed through this word, and they are standalone part of speech. Okay, not only that they are invariable, even when you see them in a sentence, they are always bracketed, which separate them from the other part. So there's no interaction whatsoever between this and the other part of speech. Okay, so they are not variable, they stay the same. There's no this is a feminine, this is masculine, this is plural, this is singular, nothing. They just stay the same. Like you throw a stone in the water, you have a bucket of water, you throw stone in it, the stone will just stay the same. There's no change. But if you throw some paper, you know, the paper will get, you know, moistured and will be deformed. So this is different. It just stays the same wherever it goes. Okay. These are also interjections, but there are different parts of speech that are used as interjection. Okay. Bravo, for instance, bueno, all those are adjectives. Fuera, which denote something outside, external. Abajo, which denotes under. They are adverbios. Okay, these are verbs. Okay, viva, muera, vaya, cuidado, toma. They are verb. Okay, so here this is nouns: fuego, chito, horror, salud, suerte. All those are, so there are different parts of speech, but they are used as interjection. So they are not proper interjections, but they are used as interjection. And a whole sentence can be an interjection depending on the tone of voice. Okay, so it's not strange to have different part of speech being used as interjection. After all, you have some word in between the bracket, and the bracket by itself already signal that you are in an environment where a strong emotion is being expressed, be it of happiness or sadness or surprise. It's a strong emotion. So you have the proper interjection, that are those single words that we saw earlier, and these that are other part of speech used as interjection. So bravo, bueno, fuera. Could you repeat? Bravo, bueno, fuera, abajo, viva, muera, vaya, cuidado, toma, fuego, tiro, horror, salud, suerte. Okay, some of them you can guess them directly. Other, like salud is health, suerte is luck, toma has to do with to take, cuidado has to do with taking care, vaya have to do with go, you can leave now, or muera, be deaf to somebody or to someone or to something, viva, long life to this or that, fuera, away or outside, abajo, under, bravo is kind of congratulating word, and bueno means good, buenos dias is good morning. So bueno express something that's well done. Okay, you've been on a task for a while, and when you complete it, you say bueno. That means you are done. Okay, so these different from these words from different part of speech are being used as interjection. So we have two types of interjection: the one that are proper interjection, that are single word proper, and these are that are words that belong to different part of speech, but they have been used as interjection. So that means the list is not limited to this one. Okay, a full sentence with word, with subject, verb, and object, or subject and predicate, if they are bracketed by the inverted exclamative mark and the regular exclamative mark, they could be used as an interjection. If it is in the context of spoken language, the tone of voice will show what it is. If you are making an affirmation, a positive declaration, then the tone will be different. If you are asking a question, the tone of voice also will be different. If you are expressing strong emotion, and in which case it will be an exclamation, then the tone of voice also will be different. So that's it for interjections. So we'll cover conjunctions and the interjections. So as usual, we'll go to the larger test. Okay, here we'll try to see I'll point to any conjunction we may find here. There is no interjection in this test, but interjection, whenever they cannot be hidden because they are clearly delineated with the two marks. Okay, the inverted exclamative mark and the regular exclamative mark, so you cannot miss them. So there is no looking for them you know. So if there is any in the test, nobody will tell you before you find those 2 marks, because the 2 marks will signal them. Okay. So and the marks don't stay far from them. The mark, if it's a long sentence that's used for interrogation or exclamation, at least there will be one inverted one to start. Once you see the inverted one, you'll be on the lookout for the regular one. Okay, so in this test, we are trying to identify the conjunctions, and later on the other 3 portions, as usual, you will read them and identify the conjunction that you find in them. You underline on the printed PDF, and you write them down in your notebook, read them, review them. If you keep doing that, you underline, and then you identify them first, then you read them and summarize them. You write them down in your notebook and later review them. Then you take your notebook on a day when you are not too busy. You go from top to bottom, from first page to whichever page the last one is. You go through los artículos, los sustantivos, los adjetivos, los pronombres, los verbos, los adverbios, las preposiciones, las conjunciones y las interjecciones. Okay, and you read your note, you have it fresh in your mind, and you start reading tests. Okay, the reason I brought this test, the whole test, is for you to know that when you see a public communication material, after you have taken this class, you'll be able to identify the different words that form the sentences that you encounter in those public communication materials. Okay? If you use the same system that we are using here now, all you will have to do later is to search for vocabulary, and then you will understand. Because all the grammatical items in the test, you've covered it in this module. So that's the purpose of the module. Okay. Later, there is a module on simple sentence structure and sentence construction. After that, you'll be equipped to read the tests and understand them. And if you keep reading tests in a specific field, you will be proficient in that field. Proficient, it could be written proficiency, it could later be oral proficiency, depending on what kind of test it is and how it lends itself to a practical skill. I chose to focus this whole course on vital sign measurement because it's a practical skill. Is something most medical people do. Even if you don't do it directly, you have people doing it and reporting to you. So it's assumed that you know it because you are going to make decisions based on it. So it's good that you know it in Spanish if you are serving a community where there are a lot of Spanish-speaking patients. So even if it's not for immediate use, you little by little, if you keep working on it, you'll reach a point where you'll be able to interact with those patients yourself without resorting to interpreters or a bilingual health worker or co-worker. Okay, for that reason, let's see. We have E here. It's a conjunction. Okay. We have C C here is a conjunction. That means if is different from C, which is yes. Okay, the C that's yes is an adverb of affirmation. Okay, when you are giving a positive response to something. Okay, so but this C, the other one has an accent on the E, which is I in English but E in Spanish. But this one is a regular E, so it's a conjunction. Okay, here 90 días. Okay, after 90 días there's E here, it's a conjunction. Okay, another one here is a conjunction. Okay, here you have a conjunction as well. Okay, you have another conjunction here between pacientes and quienes. Okay, and here you have alimentos y medicamentos. Okay, you see alimentos y medicamentos is like food and drug. You see, food and drug. I think it's FDA. It's here, Food and Drug Administration. La Administración de Alimentos y Medicamentos. So this is N. I'm sure you are familiar with the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. So the N is E. Okay. Compartir is to share. Okay. E here. There's another E here. It's a conjunction. Conjunction of coordination. Okay. Now here we have one E. Okay. La presión arterial is the same E, but because just like I was saying earlier, the following word, it's a verb, incorporate, start with E in Spanish, I in English. So to avoid having E and E together, the E, which is the Y, that is E conjunction E, la conjunción Y, he cambiado para razón fonológica. Okay, for phonetic reason, you change this coordinative conjunction E into A. So the E becomes A because to avoid the sequencing of two E's. Okay, so that's how it goes. Same thing in a context where you have O and the following word is O, the O will become U. That's why you see O sometime and U sometime and E sometime and A sometime. Okay, so those are alternative. The A and the U are alternative to the E and the O. So we've covered all the conjunctions in this test, and that's the end of this lesson on conjunction and interjection, and that's the end of the whole module on Spanish part of speech. So I thank you for your attention, and continue with the homework. Do your homework, review them, and take note and review them, and get ready for the next module, because everything you learn in the first module on part of speech will be useful when we are studying sentence structure. Okay, we may allude to some of them, but we're not going to repeat all of them. So get ready. You have all the elements that you need now to to name every single item in a sentence. Okay, when you see a sentence, you will be able to identify every single word inside that sentence. There is no sentence on earth in Spanish that has more than 9 parts of speech. You have covered all 9 parts of speech. If you review this, you will be able to recognize them. You watch the video again, or you mute it, you let it roll, and you stop when you have something you want to take note, you want to be clear on, because the way this module is designed is for you to use it even mute, because it has a lot of information on the screen. You can look and write down things, summarize things, and it will help you. All this lesson in one place for you is an advantage. Instead of you looking left and right, finding this and not knowing what is what or where to look, and and so many of the things, but they are not grouped. There are a lot of information online, but they are not grouped for you. So one lesson here could be split in 2,500 different lessons online. So it's grouped here. You read this, you summarize, and you review, and you are equipped to start reading tests in Spanish. Okay, with the next module that will be on simple sentence and sentence construction. After that module, you can tackle any public communication material, as I say, 5th to 8th grade level. So you are far more educated than the level of public material. So, but it's another language, it's a foreign language, so it always comes with its difficulties. But going through this class and taking note, especially taking note, watching is one thing, but muting it and looking at the screen as if you were in a classroom, writing things that are written on the board, because this module is designed for that purpose, to make it possible for you to take meaningful notes. Okay, everything you need is there. So lesson by lesson, you write things down, review them, and at the end, when you review all 9 parts of speech, well, you start reading on your own. Okay, and again, thank you for your attention, and hope to see you in the other module. Okay, thank you.